To the Valt podcast. We are your car culture cultivators, and we have Kevin today standing in for Sean.
Hello.
Sean didn't seem motivated to do the podcast today, so we got Kevin here instead. How's everybody doing?
Good. For those who don't know, March is a tough month for Sean, and
It's really busy at his business,
we're just
so-
giving him some time.
Yeah, he's just
Is
resting.
he okay?
He's just resting.
Yeah, he's good. He's chilling. It's been a busy quarter, man. I feel like all of us have had a really busy start to the year. But it's nice to have this little time every week to recap on the car world for fun. So what's new?
Speaking of
Actually,
beginnings,
there's been some really big news in the car world recently.
yeah. So speaking of beginnings, number 2, the second race of the Formula One season has happened.
Yeah.
Do you know who won?
Ricky Bobby.
Ocon.
Perez.
Yeah. So
Oh,
just as some tidbits for you to keeping track
No
at home.
way.
Wow. Max Verstappen won
Who's that?
by 13 seconds.
Okay.
Who is he?
Because he was watching
What's
Netflix.
his name? What's his name?
Max
Matt
Verstappen.
Matt
I don't know who that is.
Matt Verstappen.
I know who Perez is, but I've never heard of Max.
Anyway, he won
13 seconds.
by 13 seconds. The first race he won by 22. So
He's unhappy with it. He wanted to win by 30 seconds, but it was only 13.
Yeah.
So he took it to iRacing after that and
Spun off into
absolutely
the
destroyed a bunch of people in turn 1.
iRacing recently got a rain upgrade. So you can actually have rain in the race now with good physics.
Yeah.
So Max like super excited about that. So
Uh-huh.
at this point, they should just stream Max's iRacing events
Yeah, I
instead
know.
of the actual
Essentially
F1
it's the
race.
same
I mean,
thing.
I would watch it.
Yeah.
Instead
I'm
of the
happy he's
F1
happy,
race.
you know?
Yeah, and just like stop the F1 season, write it off as a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A loss.
Yeah.
All right, so in more important news, like infinitely more important news, Gandini passed.
yes, Marcello
yesterday.
Gandini.
Pretty, I mean, especially relevant today where we're seeing almost the entire lineup of new EVs and new consumer vehicles coming out, drawing pretty massive amount of inspiration from a lot of his designs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was.
I don't know. I mean, he was 85, right?
Yeah, 85.
Yeah.
But still, really, really sad to see him go because he's such a huge inspiration to a lot of people. I mean, almost every poster car that you would have had
he was
growing up
27.
was a Gandini car, right?
He was at 27 when he designed. He was 27 when he designed the Miura.
Yeah.
Wow.
A
Crazy.
child. He was 27 when he was made the head of Bertoni's design.
Yeah.
And like Giugiaro, I think, left the company and then he became the next head at age 27. And then the first thing he did was make the Miura. It's just like a home run first attempt.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then
I don't know how many
Bunch.
if you guys have watched a lot of interviews with him, but he was a really thoughtful and interesting person. At least he seemed that way in a lot of interviews.
Is that an E12? What is that?
Yeah, that's an E12. That's the first.
Wow.
That's the first
5 Series.
5 Series.
Yeah.
But
He did the Stratos, the Renault 5 Turbo, Alpha,
Countach, Diablo.
Montreal.
I mean, he designed like 50 cars or something like that over his career. Like it's
Yeah.
insane.
Citroen BX, Derek's car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did both. I mean, early on he was like more into the curvy design language, and then he turned into the Countach style, edgy and super
Yeah.
brutal style designs.
Yep.
Could do it all.
one moment. Got to do a screen recording.
You will be missed. It was like every account that I follow, it seemed like, oh yeah.
308 GT4.
Every account that I follow, it seems like,
Including
I was
Valt.
posting about it yesterday, and so many articles went up. Anyway,
Unfortunate,
goodbye,
but
Gandini.
it is what it is. He made some legendary cars. He'll be known forever.
Yep.
But that takes us into a new little thing that I thought would be cool, called Question of the Day. So the question is, what car is exclusively driven by idiots?
Ultima.
What do you think?
Ultima.
Ultima?
Yeah, I mean, that's
BMW.
pretty universal.
BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe, the front wheel drive. BMW which looks like
2
a Kia.
Series GC. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
Mhm.
looks like a
They
Kia.
make a 2
It's a CLA.
Series Grand Coupe. So
yeah,
it's,
it's a CLA.
front
it's like
wheel
a
drive.
like a low roof line 4-door 2 Series.
It looks exactly like a Kia Forte.
Is it like a crossover style thing?
It's a Kia Forte looking thing. If you remove the
I
BMW
didn't
badge,
even know this existed. Oh, yeah, so it is a 4-wheel thing, a
Yeah.
4-door thing.
if you remove
Yeah.
the BMW badge, you'd think it's a Kia.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see these enough to know.
Like,
Looks
look at the
pretty bad.
sides. Like, where's BMW in this?
Nothing. Yeah,
Looks
nowhere.
pretty bad.
Yeah, they really. This was a bad choice for
Like,
for
it's
them.
just like you buy a car just for the badge.
Oof.
Like, there's
Yeah.
a zero BMW in this.
Well, it's just like the Mercedes CLA class, where when they introduced that as like the affordable Mercedes, everyone in the car world was like, "This is going to destroy Mercedes as a brand,"
But
because
it
now
actually
they're
makes them so much money.
it makes them a shit ton of money, but regardless, it's a bad look for the brand. And this is also a bad look for BMW, but hey, it makes money probably. So, what about you, Kevin? What is the car driven exclusively by idiots?
Or predominantly.
350Zs.
350Zs.
In today's world.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I feel like when they were new, I would love those cars. I mean, I remember in high school, I went and test drove one. I mean, there's no way in any world I was going to buy one, but I thought they were the coolest thing ever,
They
when
let you
were,
test drive?
out in the world. It was a 370, I guess, by that point, but
I mean, they're still great cars, but
yeah, they're just so
yeah.
abused.
G35s are in the same
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
engine, same chassis, I guess. but-
Yeah, I guess, what is the other Infinity, the sedan, this mid-size sedan?
It's an
QX
M35 or something like that, right?
M35 was the
M45?
predecessor to it. That and the next generation.
QX6.
Those are pretty abused. Those are up there with Ultimas. I mean, they are
Yeah.
Ultimas with wood interior.
Yeah, I'd go
Yeah.
with like a Toyota Tundra, but it's lifted, like really
so
lifted.
like a Toyota Tundra, like in Florida.
Yeah, like really
Or
lifted Toyota Tundra that backs into all of its spots.
Like,
Yeah,
like
any
trying to
lifted
assert
truck
dominance.
that's like 20 feet high gets 5 miles per gallon for no use.
Yeah, and then the specific thing is if it backs into spots, it's like trying to assert its dominance on the world, and it's just like there, and it's just annoying.
Sure.
So that's an idiot too. So yeah, that was just
I feel like there's got to be some obscure ones.
Anything that depreciates like 50% in 1 year.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to alienate.
Ghibli? Yeah,
I was
Ghibli,
About to say,
Maserati. Yeah.
I was about to
at
say
the moment I said
most.
you said depreciation, I'm like Ghibli.
I don't want to alienate a lot of people, but a lot of modern Maseratis are just like that brand seems like it's lost its way.
There's a
so-
display on the dash that shows the
Yeah,
live,
yeah.
live
It's the
value
meme,
of the
right? It's like the
not a
counter,
gas
the
gauge, it's the depreciation
counter,
meter.
Yeah,
After like 2 months, it's like negative 5,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You need to pay to get this car.
Maseratis like in a sad position. I think. Just don't really understand what their buyer profile is. Apparently, it's people that want to lose a ton of money. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more. Comment down below what you think. There are definitely more cars that are driven exclusively by idiots, but this is what
Oh,
we're
Prius
thinking.
C.
Prius C,
Duh.
Yeah.
the big one. Is that the big
No,
one?
that's a tiny one.
The tiny one.
It's the kind of car that like will cut off a big rig.
On accident, just
it'll
like
be
oblivious.
Yeah,
to,
just
like,
completely unaware that
Like,
it's
oh,
cutting off a big rig.
going
and then,
left.
Like, get run over by like a
Clueless.
25,000-pound rig. Like,
We'll have all the stickers on the back.
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean. I saw one today. Yeah, but comment down below what your car that is exclusively driven by idiots is. 'Cause I'm sure there are more.
there's a lot of them.
Any car that we drive.
Yeah,
we're
my-
kind of idiots, right?
V70R.
Yeah.
Peugeots.
But in Vault News, make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube. We post every single week. We have a new episode coming right here. You've by this time, I've already seen this one, but make sure your notifications are on and all that jazz. But yeah, these videos keep getting more and more fun to edit. So I hope that you guys are enjoying them. And yeah, I mean that's basically it with that. Having said that, with Vault News, Sunrise in Solana was this weekend. So I hope that's a good turnout. By the time you're listening to this, it's has already been a good turnout, and the weather's been good and everything. So
Oh yeah, actually the weather looks really nice for the weekend.
hope to see you guys there. It's my first one in about a month. I didn't go to the February one, so I'm excited to be there for
The
everybody.
weather's lit for the next few weeks.
Amazing.
Too warm. For my
Speaking
taste.
of good weather, we had our February member drive last week, which was March, but we had to postpone it like 3 weeks because of the bad weather. And for those who don't know, who are in the Bay Area, Mount Hamilton is a really good stretch of road for driving. But if you pass, typically what you do is you go on Mount Hamilton and you drive the whole road, and then you end in Livermore because you take Mines, and Mines is a very technical, crazy road. But instead of going down Mines, if you turn right and stay on 130 all the way to Highway 5, that stretch of road is probably one of my favorite stretches I've ever been on, period.
I don't know if I've ever done that.
Yeah, I've never done it either.
Have I
It's the
done it
first
with you?
time.
Oh,
No,
wow,
the first time I
okay.
ever did it was this weekend.
What's it like? Technicality wise.
Yeah, so it's like
a fast road, tight road.
we were driving like allegedly like 70 miles an hour. It's, like,
Allegedly.
not really that bad. But I was in the E36, Sean's E36, who's dead right now over there, and it was one of the best driving experiences I've ever had in my entire life. Jake and I switched keys. He was driving the E36 on that stretch, and I was driving his Cayman. And the Cayman's a cheat code. I mean, like I was like, there was no effort.
Self-driving car on.
Yeah, I was kind of getting like I was not really used to it in the beginning, but by the end, I was so far ahead of like most of the people that like when we pulled over, they're like, yeah, dude, I knew the moment when you got used to the car, exactly on the dot. I knew exactly when you figured out what, like the car was auto flipping for you that you just took off, and I'm like, yeah, it's a cheat code.
Yeah.
I still prefer
What did
the
he
E36.
drive? He drove your car?
He drove the E36.
Oh, dude, yeah, that thing. I would have loved to have take that car like out on a road
Amazing.
somewhere. Fun.
Yeah, it's actually the
Such a good
best. It's the
platform.
best. I mean,
Yeah, I believe it.
that specific E36 is almost the perfect spec. It has had motor work done
just
to it.
enough modification.
Yeah, the motors, the top end's been built. It has a bunch of like bolt-ons.
Is it cammed?
It's cammed. It has a bunch of bolt-ons. The real crazy thing about it is it has a differential upgrade, so it's a 391, which is the same as the E34.
It's a 391.
Same as the E34 M5.
Wow, that's
and that
quick.
is extremely noticeable.
That's quick.
Extremely noticeable on the back roads.
That would kind of make up for that, at least in the lower range.
Yeah,
make
there's
up for
all the power all the time. It's really, really
Yeah.
good. It's insanely good. The
Cool.
whole car is super set up. The coilovers are like kind of noisy, but like on the back roads it's fine. I wouldn't like opt in for the seats that he has in them, but the car is built for the track. It's not really built for back roads.
Yeah,
But I can't. This car was amazing. Like right when I got home, actually right when I got home and right when Jake got home, we were both looking at like
E36
trying to find
M3s.
E36 M3s to buy because of how good it was. Because I got in the Cayman and it left me like wanting more feedback and stuff. So I actually really was like I was it was a bummer.
How does it compare to an E46 M3, like a well-sorted E46 M3?
Um,
Because like in my mind,
it's
I've wanted both of those cars like since I was a kid,
yeah.
probably.
I bet
And
the
I've always-
E46 the E46 is more numb for sure.
Yeah.
At least Sean's E36, which is like
Yeah, well,
completely
I'm
dialed
thinking
in.
like a dialed E46 versus that E36.
Well, the
which is
steering's way
dialed.
heavier on the E36. You feel way more. The brakes, even though that
Is
has
E46 E-Pass or
no,
box
it's
or-
hydraulic.
It's hydraulic?
It's
Yeah,
a
okay.
hydraulic rack.
Okay.
I think.
it's
the
a Z3 rack. Is it the same as a Z3 rack or is
Well,
it?
a lot of people put the ZHP racks from an E46
Yeah,
onto the
yeah,
E36.
yeah.
because that's a CSL rack.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
From the Euro car, which is
Yeah,
why the ZHP is so fucking good.
Yeah.
But the E36 is everything is heavy. Like the brake pedal's heavy, the clutch is heavy, the throttle's
Yeah,
heavy.
Yeah.
The E46 is a little bit lighter everywhere, but it's still really good
I even
feedback.
noticed that with the one we have.
Yeah.
That just driving
If you
around,
drove it
it's, like,
hard,
pretty-
you would like it. But then if you drove Sean's car, you would want Sean's car. Like I'd buy an E36.
I mean, I don't even notice that. I don't notice a ton of feedback on our E46.
The E46 is probably better on track. The E36
Yeah,
is
yeah,
this without the sport seats and the roll cage and the like racing coilovers
Stuff, yeah.
is like the best car period you could buy, like
Yeah.
bar none for back roads. And I'd buy one specifically for. I would never drive it only on drives. Like
Yeah.
that's like the only thing it's good for, because I drove it around town a couple times because I just couldn't get here
Yeah.
for the first couple days, and like it's just not
tiring.
it's not very good around town. I mean,
Yeah,
his setup's not very good around town. But anyway, that was an amazing time, and the weather was perfect. And like, my dad hit a pothole and bent a wheel.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
he got a flat.
Nasty.
that
But it was
wheel,
covered by insurance,
is
and
that
the wheel's
wheel-
getting repaired.
Okay.
But he was even saying he doesn't really like go on that many drives with us, because like usually our roads are pretty technical and stuff.
Yeah.
And like kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
And this one was not. This was not sketchy, which is why he came.
Yeah.
And he was even saying that like the whole experience was great. So I think
Great.
we'll definitely be going back there soon, because it was a lot of fun.
Is the road to Mount Hamilton super narrow and one way?
No, the road to Mount that's Mines Road, and if you go from the San Jose side, it just immediately turns into 130 in East San Jose.
The San Jose side is nice.
The San Jose side's great. You go up the hill, it's like a playground going up the hill.
Yeah.
Going down the hill is a little bit sketchier.
Yeah.
And then once you're in the valley, it's nice. And then once you get on this stretch for 30 minutes, it's like the last 30 minutes is like the best. It's so good. Like no one ever drives on it.
I would love to. Yeah, I'd love to.
So
do that.
next time we'll probably do that in maybe April or May. But yeah, so that was the member drive for February. Stay tuned for the March one that's coming up too. So our first Cars and Culture and other news is going to be April 14th. So stay tuned for some announcements for that. By the time you're listening to this, that is a week away. So I hope you guys are ready to go for it. It's going to be fun. And yeah, announcements to come.
Project updates?
Yeah. So as you guys know from last week, the Bentley is out and about. And it's getting better as I drive it. So Vijay got to drive it all the way to Pescadero.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you
Sean-
did a photo shoot with it. How was it?
Yeah. How was that?
What's your take? Did you already talk about this last week?
Yeah, I mean, I think it drives a lot more sporting than the 300 SD while being just as comfortable. In general, that's what I felt. And yeah, it's got tons of torque. It just...
Yeah, the car is it gets better. Like if you have low expectations for it, it actually handles pretty nice.
Yeah.
The sway bars, as I was mentioning to
It
you, are like
weighs
humongous.
6,200 pounds.
Yeah.
For that weight, it handles beautifully.
That's it?
I think.
Does it actually weigh 6,200 pounds?
I checked the door jam. It says that 6,200 pounds. That's
I would love.
it's
I
a
wonder
beast.
How, I wonder how the sway bar, right?
It's huge. Yeah, it's
It's
huge.
like as big as my
it's specifically
face.
for the Turbo R. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
massive.
Like
it's
when
it's
I'm- when
really
I'm going at
powerful.
slow
The
speeds.
frame rails must be like solid steel.
The
When
thing
you're
is a
going at
tank.
slow speeds, like at 20 miles an hour and so, and making a turn, it feels like you're moving like a ocean liner the front end. It
Yeah, it's
literally
very
looks
long.
like an ocean liner in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
so basically, we've put collectively almost 1,000 miles on it in like a week and a half.
Any problems?
Well, it was fully sealed up until Sean
You did
drove it to
1,000
the
miles
airport,
on it. Yeah.
and I think this is my fault because when Jake drove it, he told me that the brake lights flashed, so
Yeah,
I got
yeah, yeah.
nervous and I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure
Saw
Sean was
that.
going to be safe, so I topped off the brake fluid. And when I came to bring the M3 here,
Yeah.
and I backed the Bentley out, there was a huge puddle of brake fluid. But if you overfill the brake fluid, over time it leaks out. So I think it might be that.
You was just over.
But since then, it's been leaking everywhere. I go the
Brake fluid?
But there's no light on the dash, so I must have really overfilled it, or something's wrong with it. The brake pedal is fine. The brake lights are off. So right now it's just sitting for the past 24 hours. I'm taking it to a wedding tomorrow, so we'll find out if we lose
getting
brakes.
married again?
No.
The R in Turbo R stands for road holding, and it's actually kind of true. for the size of
It does its thing. Yeah, it does do its thing.
The front
well.
end just turns in nicely. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it's a good
understeer like
it's
the
a good
300
driving experience if you get used to it. And also there was when you had it, there was a 2,500 RPM stutter
Yeah, on
um,
the highway.
on the highway,
Yeah.
and it's been like that forever. But then after I got it from Sean, it went away.
So
So either he was
Sean
just floored
Italian,
it.
Italian tune.
He must have just floored it to the airport or something, but it's completely gone.
And like the most remarkable thing is I was driving it like pretty chill on highway, just cruising leisurely, and I was barely getting 10 mpg on that.
Yeah, it's like between
Like,
10 and 14.
I got on the highway after filling gas,
Yeah.
and within like 2-3 minutes I saw the needle drop.
yeah, it's
How big's the tank? Like 22 gallons.
it's actually small for what it is. It's like maybe 20.
It's 20. I felt like half the tank was about 13 gallons.
Yeah, versus like the 300 SD, which has like a 30 gallon.
You know that
tank.
GT2 RS we're selling right now has a 23 gallon tank.
That's big.
There's an extra.
Is it the extended range?
Yeah, it's at the
That's
extended
good.
range tank.
I would love that option.
I would
That's a
love.
good
I
option.
didn't know that was an option until we looked through the spec sheet on this car, and I was like, any car I would buy, if I could buy an extended range tank, I would buy like a 25 gallon tank or something like that.
It's a
That's
cannonball
amazing.
car.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that car. I don't know. I guess they offered that because they knew it would get abysmal gas mileage.
It's just it's a good option to
nice.
have. I mean, like
Yeah.
if there was the extended range for any car, I would always pick it.
Yeah.
I'd love to take that car across country at some point in the Bentley, just to say I did it.
Yeah.
And I like to keep it in the family until it gets to 100,000 miles. We're at 85 now, so we have 15,000 miles to go. So it's pretty reasonable, I think.
Just daily it for a year.
It could. I mean, when it's daily, it's great. So
Yeah.
It's the running cost is insane because of all the gas.
for
yeah, the
sure.
gas is crazy and it
and
leaks
all the
everything. You know.
fluids, Yeah.
Yeah, everything. I mean, it's a disaster. It's not a very good daily for cost effectiveness. But in other news and probably less costly news, Vijay bought wheels.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
everything about the Beat is like cheap and affordable. Like you have 2 hours of back road fun, it consumes 1.5 gallons of gas. And then I bought a whole set of wheels for $150.
No way.
I'm gonna pick it up from Jason Camisa this weekend.
Sweet. That's a
Nice.
good
Yeah.
price.
He saw my Beat at one of the car meets recently, and he came up to me and asked me if I want wheels, because my current wheels are some modern type looking thing which don't look good.
Yeah.
So the original wheels are supposed to be telephone dials. So
You got some original wheels from him?
Nice.
Nice.
it's white, so I might plaster dip silver.
Is your car red?
Silver.
Oh, yeah. Silver
Yeah.
would look nice.
Yeah, the wheels are white. I need to plaster dip them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take them to Mako.
You probably just do them yourself. They're like what 13 inches.
Yeah, I'm
Just
gonna
do
do
it.
it.
Yeah,
Just-
it'd be pretty easy.
Yeah, because the wheels themselves cost so little. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well try it.
Yeah.
Kevin, you got anything?
I don't think anything's
He's selling his
changed with the
Miata
Fit.
if anybody wants a white Miata.
Yeah, thanks
A
for the
white
shout out.
NA.
Yeah,
It's
93,
in really good shape.
93 NA. It's a good driver, but yeah, getting that ready for sale. The clutch is broken in on the Fit, so it's time to party.
He's going to a track day.
Yep, doing that. I think by the time this goes out, I've probably already done the track day. So
Mhm.
fingers crossed, I don't like flip the car or anything. But
You should be
They do
fine.
that?
Yeah, I think you can, but I
Don't
mean, I'm
say
not gonna. Yeah. What'd you say?
He said you should be fine.
You should be
Don't
fine.
say
Yeah,
that.
you should be
Yeah.
good.
oh, they do that.
No,
Like
no,
if
they
you
don't.
Flip. I mean,
I mean,
if you
depends-
if you
You
like
have
dig
suspension
in, if you
modifications,
dig
right?
in because you go off track sideways.
Yeah.
You have some suspension modification on
Not
everything?
stock.
Stock.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's better. I
Could
think.
maybe go a little slower on the corners.
Yeah.
If you put two sticky
Maybe.
tires on a car that has rolled, what do you think?
I mean, your center of gravity is pretty low.
It rotates. The car rotates really well, so I've already had some fun with it, and it doesn't really do anything else. The car it's unsettled on stock suspension though, because the car is like gripping so hard, and then it's like still like.
yeah.
So there's tons of like it builds.
I mean, you're
up.
on like R comps, right?
They're 200 turbo. They're RT615.
yeah.
Oh, that's soft. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so fun though. Honestly, like.
Yeah, I'd imagine it'd be awesome.
Have
yeah.
you broken traction yet?
Nope. Not
You'll
yet.
probably never need to use the brakes on a track, which is
Oh,
the
yeah.
which is the best part about
How much does it weigh?
slow car.
I think it's like 2,600 pounds.
Yeah, that's
So it's
pretty
like the weight of an S2000.
Yeah.
In a
That's great.
much more usable package.
Yeah, with a hatch.
Yeah. A
So
modular interior.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, let me know. I need to drive that after you're
Mhm.
done. Yeah.
Now that it has a broken-in new clutch.
Yeah.
We'll be detailing it at the shop. This is going to be our first detail ever at the shop.
You want to do it at the Otis shop?
No, we're doing it at my
Like,
shop. That's the whole
you know,
point.
a lot of people.
Anyway, Sean has no updates. He's just there. But
His Z motor's still on the stand.
his Z motor's been on the stand. I don't think.
Sean's project update is getting home.
Honestly, I don't think it's going to be swapped at this point. I think it's just going to sit there
It's
forever.
supposed to be done in January.
But anyway, that's
Sean doesn't have any. Sean's gone.
Sean's has left.
I don't know where he went.
Um,
We all went to the bathroom and we came out of the
And
bathroom
he's
as a
gone.
group of four, and he was gone.
Yeah. So we'll ignore that and transition into marketplace finds. So I found two cars. One is a E32 750 IL. So you don't ever see these. 750 IL is the V12 one.
Look at those bumpers.
Yeah. So my dad had one of these back in the day, maybe like 10 years ago or something.
Is this the immediate predecessor of the E38?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was E32 then E38. So this is the first that was introduced with the V12. So it's a cool car. They drive really nice.
What else was this V12 in? Was it also in the?
It was in the E31.
8 series. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the 8 series. That was it.
F1.
Yeah, the core. You could be cool and say the core of it, I guess, but like not really. But anyway, detail shots are boring. But anyway, this is a good car. If you've ever, I mean, these are really, really, really hard to
Why
find.
didn't you buy it?
Because I don't need that in my life. But like everything on, if for those who don't know, everything on these motors, there's like double of everything. So there's 2 ECUs.
Yeah.
Like it's a disaster.
Double
to try,
trouble.
Yeah, try to work on these. So I just thought it was cool that this one was for sale and existed. $7,000 is honestly kind of like a lot of money for for one of these. Like,
Really?
I mean, yeah, because they don't run. Like, I mean, they're just like it's really hard to find one that runs. These are all broken and completely destroyed. But when they do run, it's very, very nice.
Yeah.
Like, they're really nice cars.
Yeah.
But they don't ever run. So this guy's gonna have a hard time.
Well, I like the idea.
It's a good idea. Bad color. If it was black, it'd be even cooler. Right now, Auto House Julian is swapping a V12 into an E34 wagon.
Yeah.
And the car
He's doing a twin turbo.
but the donor car is a white E32 750IL with
Oh.
beautiful red interior. Like, perfect car.
Why is he pulling it?
With Style 1 wheels. And if you think Style 1
Why
wheels.
isn't that's a really cool Survivor?
Yeah, so my dad's trying to buy from him right now.
Yeah. Without the motor?
These. No, with the whole car. She's trying to buy the whole car right now.
And just try to get him to
And
use a
trying to
different
find
engine.
a different donor.
I mean, yeah, like a Total
Because
8 series
this
or something. That's
this
so
E32,
cool.
the one, I mean,
You
I
said
wish I had
silver red.
no white red.
Oh, that's so
so
cool.
white's super hard to find. Red's even harder to find, and it's a 750 IL that's running,
Yeah.
which is even harder. And my dad's been wanting one for a while. So like I hope it probably won't happen because 750s are so rare. But I do hope that my dad finds another donor for him, because it'd be cool to have.
Does
that.
it have to be a 7? Can it be a?
It could be an 8 series,
an
but they're more
8 series?
expensive. They're more expensive.
I mean, like a totaled one.
Yeah, but they're still gonna be more expensive. I mean, like like literally a 750 IL, mildly running,
Yeah.
is like $1,000.
Wow.
Like they're nothing. They're worth nothing. They're worthless cars. They just drive really nice.
Oh,
But this is my second find.
sad.
Wow.
I found this W140. When you texted me that you got that I'm sure we'll talk about at some point. When you
Yeah, the
when you guys got a 140,
500, Yeah.
I started looking on eBay because I'm like, maybe I'm missing out, and I obviously was. So
Is
this is a
this-
Bornite. It ended literally yesterday, so it didn't
Such
sell.
a good color.
But
Is this
yeah,
really worth this much? Oh.
no, but it's probably worth 10.
That's high, right?
It's probably worth 10.
What did it sell for?
It didn't
Or
sell.
It just didn't sell.
It wasn't an auction,
Just make an offer.
but well, it's ended, so I would have to reach out to them. I don't do this right now, but anyway, it's a Bornite. It's an early model, which is cool. It has the yellow fog lights, as you can tell. Yours does not have that, but Bornite is just a rare color. These wheels are stupid, but like the only thing I don't like is the beige. I wish it was black interior,
Yeah.
but honestly, it's cool. I've never really driven a 400 SEL, so I don't know what it's like. It's probably pretty slow, but so is the diesel, and I love that car. So if this was still for sale, maybe I'd reach out
I
to
bet
them.
it's okay, right? The 400 isn't the 400 the same motor as the 400e?
Yeah, so the 500 has 300 and whatever horsepower. This probably has like 260 or something like that, 280.
It's got to be faster than the diesel.
It's way I mean, the diesel is 140 on a good day. And
I bet it's drivable.
Mine has probably 90.
It's probably a nice experience.
So so this is cool. I guess when I thought I wanted to bring it up because when I
Yeah, it's
was
cool.
on
It's super
eBay,
cool.
this was one of the first 140s that popped up, and so now I'm going to be looking much more often. So we transition
Was this
into
your find too?
another
Me.
long
Uh-huh.
luxury car. Vijay's found a Lagonda.
This car is notable because it has the most incredible number of buttons on the dash. If you like buttons, this is the car for you.
Yeah, show us.
It has like
There it
895
is.
buttons
Yeah.
on the dash. And
What the hell is
it's
this?
got the raddest display.
is this
for
the-
Speedo?
The
Yes.
speedometer.
That's the tack. That's the tack.
Tack.
The speedo is to
The
its
one the
right.
bottom.
The speedo. Oh, the speedo moves. So it
Yeah.
like moves like there's
Yeah.
like little pixels that move.
cool.
It's
Wow.
it's like one of those.
This is
video
probably
games.
highly luxurious back in the day.
It was like those
it was
Atari
interesting
video
for
games.
sure. You should find the video of it driving.
Check that out.
Oof. Let's get a video
Do we have a video? Let's find out.
right there. You passed it. Is there in-car driving? That's all we want to know.
Look at that B-roll.
Yeah. Kevin, take notes.
There's no close up of the dash, I guess.
That's
there
such an interesting hood too.
There's
Everything
nothing
is
that
just
shows the dash.
tacked.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, yes. Let's go. Okay, okay.
Oh yes.
No, it's doing that because of the
It's
camera.
Yeah.
having
It's, okay, so this is not what it's actually doing. It's just
it's the camera.
Dude, I love that they posted this.
It's having a
Like,
stroke.
this just looks like it's broken. Look. Okay. Well,
car's having a
obviously-
They
stroke.
tried.
Yeah, the car's.
That's too bad.
That's too bad. Anyway, it's a cool car. You don't ever see them really. I mean, they're pretty rare.
Well, you don't
obviously.
see them because none of them run.
Yeah, it's just the same
Look
situation.
at those lights. Come on.
Look at all of them. Look at the little Hitler mustache too. You could say that. It's
I've
fine.
never seen a car with the headlights built into the hood like this.
Mhm.
Oh, you mean where you lift the hood and the headlights come with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too when they did
Yeah.
that. I usually the hood lifts over them, right?
I bet the hood goes backwards, right?
No, it's
I
a
would assume.
clamshell type.
It's
thing.
forward.
Forward.
Yeah.
It's like
Cool car.
E30.
Yeah, they're.
This looks like a 400i kind of. Like a longer 400i.
Similar lines, yeah.
Is this a Gandini? No, right? No.
It's a good question. I have no idea.
Look
All I
at
know is
this.
that these are
Whoa.
crazy, and I
Look
like
at
how
Wait,
the
go back to
sun-
that
sun-
sunroof.
the sunroof is
It's in the
it's,
middle.
glu- it's
The
glued in.
driver's side head sunroof.
It's just for the back seat.
But it's just for the back seat's
Yeah,
knees.
just for the back seat. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just your knee.
They couldn't do that because if they did that, it would destroy their body rigidity or something.
Yeah.
Something stupid.
Imagine pulling up in this.
Yeah, if you pulled up, you would look pretty cool for like a few minutes.
Yeah.
People would at least look. They'd be like, "What is this stupid triangle?"
Okay, good find.
Yeah.
The next one that Vijay found.
This is a car I missed out
Oh,
on.
so sad. This.
I thought it would go for like 25, but it went for 8.
That's why I just ignored it. You sent it, and I was like, "Yeah, wow, I want that." But I'm
Look
not
at those
gonna,
seats.
I'm not gonna watch
Look
it
at
because
those-
I'm gonna
Look
bitch.
at
Love
those
it.
seats.
I know.
It's like the most ridiculously rare seat in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the FBRX7
It's-
front end.
It's
So
it's a
cool.
Swedish car with a French Renault engine.
So cool.
Wow.
It doesn't get cooler than that.
Do they not have good pictures of the seats in here?
No, just those ones.
One photo.
And it's got pop-up
But they
headlights.
look like they're in really good condition.
Wow.
It's a UK car.
Yeah, those are cool.
And it's got pop-up
Oh,
headlights.
it was in the United Kingdom.
No, it's in the US.
it's
Oh,
in
it's
the
in the
US.
US. Okay.
It
But
was
it's-
it was not a USDM car though. Is what
Yeah.
No, for sure not.
Yeah, and it's got
Yeah.
pop-up headlights and that beautiful front end.
Yeah, somebody needs to buy this and then bolt on a wide body kit and then put bags on it and then LS swap.
It's a cool car.
It looks like Daytona in the front.
You wonder why they didn't bring
It's a
these
bit like a
into
Daytona.
Yeah, in that
States.
period, compacts
at
sold
That's
pretty
amazing.
well.
Yeah, I mean
It's so
GTIs were
amazing.
hot.
It's
you
just so cool.
This is the most amazing car I've ever seen.
and it's just like it. I didn't know this car existed until you sent me it.
know, just made in France.
I didn't think it would sell for 8. Then I would have 100% bought it for 8,000.
So cool. Oh my god, they did a photo shoot with the P1800.
Like no one else in the
That's an
world,
insult to the 1800.
no one else in the country has this car.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true. I mean,
didn't-
they are very
Truly did not know it
very
existed.
rare.
I mean, I'm sure the interior.
What's the motor in one of
material
these?
quality
It's a
is
4-cylinder Renault.
atrocious.
It's a 4-cylinder Renault.
Renault
Yeah.
in a Swedish car.
Interesting.
and it's a transaxle, right?
Well, I said it was made in France. I wonder if it was like
front-wheel
a.
drive, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I said it was
5-speed.
made in France. Is it like a co-branded deal with like Renault or something?
I don't know. Must have been something like that.
So
Crazy.
weird.
It's a weird car with a lot of caps, apparently.
Yeah, a lot of plastic caps.
But anyway, that's a really cool car. We're going into our next one, which is a, whatever this. Hold on, let's go into this one. Why this one is loading?
Dang, skipped
Just
me.
Command R, maybe a little bit of
Let's
that.
go. I know it's Kevin's because Kevin's was
Wait,
confusing.
what happened to mine?
We're gonna go to yours.
Kevin, what'd you find us?
It's a vintage Cybertruck.
It's a Cybertruck
It is a vintage Cybertruck.
from 1943 by half the cost.
Topless Cybertruck.
It has an M20 in it, which is probably really slow.
M20. Do you think it's actually an M20?
No,
I
no.
wish it was an M20.
It probably has no motor in it at all.
Yeah, at least it's not rusted, right?
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
I
I was up in, or I was out in Florida for that E46 with Derek, and we went to a Air Force museum.
Rave
and-
party.
We went to an Air Force museum, and there was a little tank there that looked something a little bit like this, and it had 6 forward and 6 reverse gears,
Mhm.
and it was rated at 88 miles an hour in
Yeah.
either direction
Yeah.
on
That's how-
any surface.
Yeah.
It makes me think
That's
of
how
this.
tanks
Uber
are.
badass. Yeah. So
Yeah,
this is
so
missing
cool.
missing a transmission and interior.
yeah.
Well,
But it has
that's
the
not
engine,
surprising.
it has a transfer case, has a
I
radiator.
don't really know if you
a
want
fuel
the
tank.
engine. I think you just want to, make your own drive.
Yeah, you probably just want to. Making this an EV powertrain would be hilarious.
Yeah. That
Park it next
actually
to a
would be-
Cybertruck.
That's actually probably the best thing you could do.
Just paint it a little
It'd
bit.
be so difficult.
Painted
to,
silver
yeah.
Silver.
and write
and add
Beverly
some panels
and
like
write
yeah.
Beverly Hills Hotel on the side.
yeah. Add some like silver cardboard to fill in the wheel gaps and stuff.
It's a topless Cybertruck.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Well, Spence, thank you for
Great
selling
find,
it,
dude.
and Kevin, thank you for showing it to us.
$40,000.
$40,000 for something that can't move. That's kind of hard.
That's
It's
a
a hard sell.
shocking number, my
Listed
dude.
2 years ago, so he is trying.
It's been up for 2 years.
He's trying. He's trying.
Don't you have to pay for vehicle listings?
I don't
No,
know.
no, it's
To
free.
renew them?
No, it's free.
don't
That's
know. I
that's why
think it's
Facebook Marketplace is so popular.
I thought it was like $5.
Craigslist is $5.
Oh, you're right.
Yep.
You're right. Okay.
This is what my algorithm looks like on Facebook Marketplace. So
Okay, who picked the Lada?
Okay,
Who
that
picked the Lada?
was another Jake Bauer find.
that's sick.
What is this?
It's a Lada, which means it's made of concrete and it weighs 63,000 pounds. And it's the last car that will be left in America after the nuclear apocalypse. But it's
Besides the 300 ST. The
cool.
300 ST will
yeah,
outlast
besides
this.
the 300 ST.
And
Even
the
though it says
Cybertruck.
only 1,500 miles.
Yeah, yeah, which
This is
which
a
not true.
museum piece.
It's not true. Yeah, so Jake sent me this a couple days ago, and when I sat down today to put my Facebook Marketplace listing finds in, I put this one first because Jake sends me something every week, at least one car every week, and I always include them because he always finds the weirdest shit.
These headlights look like they're not
Find,
put
they
on the
find
way.
the most mentally unstable things on the market.
This is crazy.
It's funny because it's a Lada that doesn't like that's not Lada shape. To me, a Lada shape is like the, that
Square
sedan
rectangle.
they've been
Square.
making
Yeah,
for
literally
640
a
years.
square. Yeah, a square.
Ladas
they exist, though.
existed
In medieval Europe.
They existed in the Bronze Age. Cave paintings have Ladas on them.
Look at that dude. Look,
Yeah.
he's having a really good time.
He's scared actually. He's like right when I touch down, this whole thing might just bow.
Explode.
Just destroy.
It's gonna become bagged.
He's a stressed member of the chassis.
Yeah.
He is stressed.
Wow. Well, this is
Yeah.
this is an interesting
Jake,
car.
this is a really good find.
Jake,
I
thanks
don't
for
know
this.
why.
Please keep sending mentally
I have-
unstable.
And it's the funny thing is it's in Burbank too. It's crazy.
And they're
right?
asking
Yeah,
$16,000.
you could probably buy 16 of these in Russia for that. For
The
that
crazy
amount of money.
thing is, like, that makes me think he spent like $15,000 on buying the car. This was the next find, and the only reason I'm including it is the E30 market in the last 3 years, alongside everything else, went like just outrageously crazy. You know, you found like clapped out shit like what I bought for like $5,000 for like $10,000 and stuff like this. I'm used to seeing like people asking like 18 for. And I didn't look at it that closely, but Joe, what do you think? I mean, it looks like a little low, like it has cut springs. Or
Yeah, it looks
something.
like it's been repainted too, and the hood is different color, and the hood also
yeah.
doesn't fit all the way. If you look at this picture, it
Yeah,
looks like-
yeah. Okay, so probably some crash damage
And the guy spray painted his taillights to look all red, which is the thing that people do.
to try to make it look early.
Yeah, hood was painted black. It gives it a meaner look.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
he
Well, I
said.
didn't look that closely.
But still, an IS is hard to find.
it's a late model. Is it a late model? What year is it?
Yeah, it's a late model. You can tell because it has a plastic bumpers.
Yeah, no, I know, but I thought
Plastic.
maybe it was a conversion.
Probably 89 or 90.
89. Yeah. So it's a late
No
model
interior.
IS.
Yeah,
that
it's an
is-
89. There's no airbag.
What's
Yeah.
the steering wheel? Is it an airbag steering wheel?
No airbag. This is the traditional sport steering wheel. You can get this one in an IS, or you can get an M
It looks
Sport.
ugly.
And an M Sport's the one with in my car.
That's the one that you like, the M Sport.
Yeah, the M Sport 1 is the one that I have in my M5. This is just the regular sport package interior for an 89.
I don't know. I mean, dude, uncracked dash. Look at the dash.
Yeah, the uncracked dash.
That's not
I mean,
bad.
This thing, the interior
It's
looks
not bad.
pretty good, honestly.
100 is that 89,000?
108,000
Yeah,
miles.
it's a lot of miles.
This is
but-
probably a great. Has lowering springs, but they don't.
I mean,
say
this
anything.
just is like for 10 grand. I'm just used to seeing like
Yeah.
I'm used
fair.
to seeing people list like the most clapped out E30s for 10 grand.
Yeah, I mean,
and,
this is
like,
probably I mean, M20s are cheap to fix anyway, so this is probably broken, but it's probably cheap to
yeah,
fix.
yeah.
And this is probably a great for 10 grand. I mean, I don't think you could really go wrong with this unless there's like crazy accident damage or a makeup paint job or,
Or
something.
like or
which kind of think it might
major mechanical issues.
kind of looks like this is Delphin Gray. It kind of looks like it might have a makeup paint job just based off of like
Yeah.
the fact that he's like not. And this looks kind of chalky right here. It looks like
The
cloudy unless the
deck
clouds are
lid,
getting in
yeah.
there. I like these cars. I mean, I wouldn't ever buy another one, but
I do like the interior though, just all
Yeah.
black.
The gear
I just like it
Nice.
was kind of
Yeah.
refreshing to see like a car that presented like fine, not being asked 20 grand. Because I've seen the last like couple months, every time I get like an E30 on my listing feed, it's like some like fairly clapped out thing with like Recaro buckets and no rear seats, and they're asking like $16,000.
yeah.
So
Yep. And
Kinda nice.
a hot take. This $10,000 car is probably about 87% of the experience of an E30 M3, which is like $75,000. So
yeah,
it's better.
Yeah, that's a very good
probably-
point.
It's yeah,
It's
well,
80% better than an E30.
yeah. So I'm just saying,
It's
if
a
you're
very
trying to
good
buy an
point.
E30 M3, other than for the investment,
And like beyond the even like the acquisition cost, like the ownership cost over a long period of time. And
Yeah, I mean, these things are like they don't-
maintaining an S14. I mean, everything on an S14
yeah, it's
is
much
NLA now.
much
Like,
more
Insurance.
intense.
Yeah,
Insurance.
They're all, everything's NLA. All you really need to do is do a valve adjustment probably once.
And there's like
Oil
there's like
changes.
7 of these on every corner in Berkeley.
Yeah, they're it's good. I mean, I
Are
hope
they
it goes
all
to a good
yours?
home.
Yeah.
It looks pretty okay.
If I had any interest in, if I was buying an E30 for the first time now and I wanted something that was like in okay condition, I would probably consider that car.
Yeah, that interior alone on the E30 is probably enough. That
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
think
surprising how good the interior
Yeah,
is.
it looks like
I
it
wonder
was
if
in
it's
shape-
swapped,
good
but
shape.
like if that interior looks like that and it's the original interior, then like it's probably had an okay life, you know?
Yeah, even if it hasn't been, if it's not original, like if someone went to the trouble of like getting it
Doing
recovered
that.
or
Yeah,
you know, it's probably okay. It's
Uh,
probably an honest car. But then the last one is a 2001 S4 Avant.
This was my last find, and it's just because every time I see a cool B5 generation S4 RS4, I want it, and I don't see S4 wagons that often.
This looks as
And
good
I
as.
freak out every time I see them on the road.
A
I turn into
manual?
like a 13-year-old car spotter.
Is
and
that
scream at
blue
them.
leather?
No, I think it's just bad
black.
photos.
Yeah,
it's black.
black.
Dang.
Oof.
That looks complicated.
That scares me.
It's twin turbo, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's twin
Yeah,
turbo.
it's a twin turbo. So these had really big issues. They're really difficult to own.
Yeah, they have issues.
My
This-
joke
this
about
one's
like
been
my joke about
modified.
B5 S4 is everybody that owns a B5 S4 has 3 of them and one of them runs, and the other 2 are
Parts
cars.
Yeah, and this one's been like pretty much has a fuel pump, new different injectors. It's on a tune, racing clutch, coil packs.
Ooh.
Why are you racing
You
clutch?
can
Lowering
make so these
springs.
cars made. They were really popular tuner cars in the day. People were making like a ton of power on these in the sedans, especially.
This looks almost as good as an E46 wagon.
It's really pretty.
Yeah. I mean,
really
I think these are probably cooler than an E46 wagon. But
Whenever I see these, I just think of like cool ski dad.
yeah,
You know?
On the way to Tahoe.
Yeah. So anyway,
13,000 is a lot of money though.
that
It's not
seems
worth
high to me.
it. Yeah, that's way too high. It's probably worth 8.
Probably spent a lot of money on parts.
Yeah.
High miles too.
Yeah.
Yeah, 170. It's probably like an $8,000 or $9,000 car. It
I
should
wonder
be.
what the paint is like. We don't really get
Yeah,
good
bad
photos,
photos.
of the top surfaces.
It's probably not perfect, but
I very rarely see these with good paint.
anyway, that's a good find, and that completes our finds, and that brings us into the main topic, which is slept-on cars. So last week we talked about cars that maybe like it was like an ever meet your hero situation where maybe we've always wanted to drive or own these cars, but then we got into them and hated them. So today we're doing the opposite, and we're talking about slept-on cars. So have you ever, can you come up with 3 cars that you think are completely undervalued or slept on in terms of money, in terms of experience or performance,
Or
in
just
terms
like
of
or like notoriety.
in anything? Yeah. So, so I'll start. Obviously, I think my first choice would be a C32 AMG.
Yeah.
That's the E46 M3 competitor. And clearly that's going to be, the E46
What was the
M3.
predecessor? There was a C32 before that, right?
No, it would be C43.
Yeah, okay. I think both of those are really
Yeah, both of them are
supremely
slept on, but this
slept on.
one is extra slept on. The C32 AMG is an automatic, which is why it's slept on. And also
I
the
remember
E46.
I had a club soccer coach with one of these in
Yeah.
silver, and it was cool and it sounded so good.
Yeah, and the thing about these is that the reason why they're slept on so much is that they're trying to compete with like an E46, and I've had one of these, and like they're nowhere near the same cars,
Yeah.
At least in the E39, E55 space, you're still getting like the same kind of straight line fun.
Yeah.
But this car feels more like a smaller E-Class than it does a sports car, which is why they're slept on. But I think they're awesome. And
Was the CLK the same motor?
yeah, CLK 32 and the Chrysler Crossfire had the same motor.
So the CLK is really like the real competitor. To the
Yeah, and you
E46.
can get a manual.
I guess the CLK is to the E46 coupe what the C32 is to the E46 sedan, but they never made it.
Yeah, I mean the E46 wins in every realm, except for maybe straight line speed. This
Yeah, the
has,
CLKs they feel heavy.
yeah, this one feels heavy too, but it's
I'm just-
very comfortable.
I'm just thinking of like a person who's not into cars hearing this alphabet soup and
Yeah.
what the hell is going on?
Yeah, so the C32, if you can find a really clean one, so this is a supercharged V6. It has 349 horsepower,
Which is
Wow.
insane.
and
For
it
what,
pushes
2001?
and it pushes hard.
2001?
Yeah.
That's insane for
mine was from 2003, but
That's
like,
a lot
and
of
I think they
power.
went to 2005, and then 2006 they had a C55, which is an NAV8.
Yeah.
I think from the E55 210, which made the same power, 355. So
Yeah.
actually, the 3.2 is a faster car.
I mean, that's a lot of power for back then.
This thing is awesome. Like these cars are so good, except for in dynamics. Like they are not good on back roads. They don't drive well in a sporty manner. But when you put your foot down, they freaking launch
Is it
at any
rear-wheel
any
drive?
speed. They're like the fastest thing around, and they feel like it because of how much torque they have.
Is it
Yeah.
The
rear wheel
interior,
drive?
huh?
Is it rear wheel drive?
Yeah, it's rear wheel drive.
Okay.
And the transmission is famously it's the same transmission as the McLaren, whatever that SLR McLaren.
Really?
Same exact transmission.
Huh.
Wow.
And like the thing is moves. It's like a slept-on car, and you can get this for like $5,000 right now. Like they're worth nothing. I had one that
I don't think they're ever going to go up.
no, they'll never go up ever.
I don't think they'll ever be
yeah,
worth anything.
because they don't look anything special. And
it's
you
not
can
like a E90 or something.
you can get
know?
E55 for 11 and get 500, almost 550 horsepower, and
Yeah, right.
they're about the same size.
Yeah.
But I had one of these that had under 50,000 miles on it, and it was like a dark brown with black and red interior.
Ooh.
And it was one of the cleanest cars I've ever experienced. It was the cleanest car I've ever experienced in my life, and I loved it. I loved it. It was so nice, and I do miss it. It's now in Oregon somewhere, but these are totally slept on, I think, and I think that more people should buy them. Actually, a member has one, and he loves it. So, Robert, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been saying this for a while now, ever since I met you and your dad. I've kind of expected to see, after the E30 and the E28, M3 and M5 like totally went up, like exploded in value in the last like 6 years. I kind of expected the E34 gen to do the same.
Yeah.
I've driven a number of them now at this point in different states of, quality, both of your dad's cars. And then, actually, no, I have never driven your dad's silver E34. But I bet that car is supremely well sorted.
Yeah, that car is super nice.
So, we have one that we're selling right now on Bring a Trailer. And that car has like a lot of skeletons. It's got really good bones, but it's got a lot of issues. And even that car, like it needs a new steering box. Even that car is amazing to drive. So I don't really understand why they're like
Are they
sub 20, maybe
overshadowed?
20.
are
like
they
they're like,
overshadowed by E39 M5?
yeah, so I think the problem is
so.
they're
The
caught
Euro
between-
ones are like exponentially nicer, and they're worth the money. Like you can't find a 3.8 for under 30. Period.
But that's still like compared to an E28 or an
Yeah,
E39.
and for
I mean,
for
those
Euro cars,
an
it's a better
E39
experience.
in the similar quality to like a good Euro E34 is like double the money.
Yeah.
I mean, like good E39s now under like 50,000 miles are like $50,000 cars.
Yeah,
is
I
crazy
really
to me.
I don't understand why they're not worth more, specifically
doesn't
because
make
the
sense.
What are they
E28.
worth? Are they like in the 20s now?
Well, so the E28 and the E39 are both more expensive than this car. Period. Like unless you get like
By
a
a
wagon.
wide margin. I mean, E28s are in the 60s.
Essentially, the
50s.
E34s, the only ones that are valuable are wagons or like insanely rare, like cool interior like
Yeah.
sedans that are Euro. But the 3.6s, the US spec cars with 350 horsepower,
Which are still like outrageously
amazing.
good.
They're my
cars.
favorite. They're my
Like,
favorite.
They're amazing.
The
And the
3.8
3.6 is a really good engine.
Well, the 3.8 is a very obvious predecessor to the E39.
Yeah.
It feels much more refined, and the 3.6 just feels batshit to
It's
me.
it's like lopey, and it
It's-
doesn't like
yeah.
when you start it, it doesn't like idle.
It's nothing
and
like the
just-
E28.
It's like it's like
Yeah.
it's such an experience.
the
And
E28
I've
is way
spent-
more refined.
I mean, I
the
don't know,
E39 is way more refined. The 3.6 is completely unrefined.
Yeah,
3.8
it's-
is also refined. So like
It's so
3.6
much
is just
fun.
like
I mean,
sounds like a
the
race car.
one we're selling right now is a 3.6.
yeah,
and
which
it's
is that's the one I would buy.
It's so much fun,
Yeah.
and it revs really well.
Mhm.
It sounds amazing. I mean, this car has an exhaust on it, so it's a bit loud.
The crazy thing about the 3.6s is that you can get them for like 20 grand.
or less. I mean,
Or
our
less.
car,
Well,
our
yeah,
car's probably going to sell under 20
it-
because it has issues.
Yeah, it should, yeah.
But-
But 3.8s, like
That's a good deal.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
great deal,
There's
and it's
so
a
much
really
fun.
good
I mean,
experience.
and
the
you
car
can
is
actually, I mean, it's a car you can like
great. Yeah, you can put
do
miles
a
on it.
long road trip in,
Yeah.
you know, and you can also like toss it around. I think it's probably the most slept on M car.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't think of another
think so.
M car that has been
they'll have their moment.
less
think-
appreciated.
I think maybe it's the styling. Like this is very, like,
Yeah, but it reminds
super
me of
under the radar.
it reminds me of the what was the next gen 7 series, the like Transporter 7 series.
E38
38.
Was that the second gen 7?
third.
Third,
That's
yeah.
the
It
V12.
reminds me a lot of the E38,
Mhm.
which I think is like one of the best looking 7 series.
Yeah, a lot of people think it is.
I think it might
Um,
be like one of the best looking
It is the best.
luxury
I can see
sedans
it.
of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, but I do think they're slept on. The 3.6 specifically, because the 3.8s
It's just so good.
are really, really nice, and they add a lot of power, and they feel way more refined. But the 3.6s are just more fun, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I might be biased because the one I drove a lot had like 280,000 miles, and I could just beat the shit out of it, you know?
Yeah.
And the 3.8s that I've driven are all like special and like need to be like you know, not beat the shit out of, you know? So maybe I have bias, and I just haven't really driven a 3.8 in anger. My
Yeah.
dad's probably a better person to ask, but I do think that the E34 is slept on, and I don't understand why, because the E28s are starting to get money and the E39s are starting to get money.
I don't know. I wonder if they're gonna go or if they're gonna kind of like just slowly appreciate, but not really in the same manner.
I'm sure they will at some point, but maybe not as much as the E28 as the first one, and the E39 as like the first,
Yeah.
like arguably one of the best sedans ever created, kind of thing. So it
Yeah,
kind of gets
yeah.
overshadowed by like third gen being like the best,
Amazing.
probably the best one ever made,
Yeah.
and then the E28 being like the
The
genesis
first.
of it, you know.
Yeah.
And then this one in the middle, even though it's a mixture of both, you know, a clearly better sedan than the E28.
I feel like I would rather, for the money especially, have an E34 M5. Like I'd
Yeah.
rather have like a really well sorted 3.6 E34 than like an equally well sorted E39.
yeah. I mean,
don't know,
I
it
want
may
an
be like a
E39.
super hot take, but
I'd want an E39, but for driving, I'd want an E34. I just want an E39 because it's
Yeah,
just like a
I think
childhood
this
thing.
looks better than an E30. I mean, in your rearview mirror, I think this looks better
Oh
than
yeah,
an E39.
this has got an amazing.
It's got the
signature.
best like front end of
They're
some of
also
those cars.
they're hand built, and they're also pretty hard to find, and maybe that's another reason why the E39s were much more popular.
Hmm.
E28s were the
people
we're-
don't know enough.
honestly.
about
I
them.
feel like I see more E28s than I see E34s too. So I almost wonder if like
I
people just
very rarely
don't
see-
really know about
Know
them.
about
that
them.
No, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
That's a
feel,
good find. That's
I
a good.
feel I feel so passionate about E34 M5.
I do think that they're underappreciated for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
VJ, what about you?
I'm gonna go with two cars. The first one being the C5 Corvette Z06, the mid 2000s one.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine picked up one in 2020 with like 60,000 miles. He got it for just $13,000 or $14,000, and he's done like a bunch of track days, amazing autocross events. Like, it's got an insane amount of performance. The C5 Z06, like 400 horsepower
Yeah.
with an amazing chassis. The engine is amazing anyway.
They
but
also like have really grown on me
Yeah.
aesthetically.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, I thought they looked dumb and were dumb.
No, the blue one looks the part. Like the blue is absolutely amazing.
I like silver too.
Yeah, and it's got the most amazing chassis also.
Really,
Yeah.
it
The engine is good. Everyone knows it.
dynamics are like it's dynamically
Yep.
good.
Absolutely amazing to control on the throttle, steer on the throttle.
Really,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're big Miatas, or like
absolutely
they're
amazing.
Miatas with V8s.
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah,
Yep.
if you want to
Longer
go to
wheelbase, but
in autocross, like if this has got like coilovers and stuff and good tires, nothing can beat this in autocross.
and it's flat.
Speaking of which-
doesn't roll.
no, nothing can beat this in autocross.
You know
Wow.
what's interesting? I
Amazing.
I
modern
agreed with you
engine.
like 2 years ago, but I feel like I'm seeing like way less of them now.
I never see them.
Not now.
I
now.
thought I saw
Like,
when
used
I
to
was
see them
like
a
a
lot.
kid. I saw these things everywhere.
In California,
Yeah.
you
So I almost
can't
wonder
have
if people
them.
are like starting to like,
Sit on them.
yeah,
I mean, California, you can't.
I mean, the
afford
Corvette people are definitely the Corvette people have been hedging
yeah.
this
That's
since
just
you
how
know,
it goes.
2005.
Like
but-
gas prices. The problem is the interior is shit. It's
yeah.
extremely
Well, it's a 2000
plasticky,
mid-2000s
extremely
American car.
low rent interior. They save
Yeah.
money on that,
Yeah,
and the body panels like fiberglass, that kind of thing.
yeah.
So it feels cheap, but it's one of the best chassis ever.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that
Track
that is
I've seen
definitely
people doing.
a
I've
good
seen
buy.
people doing
Drift.
like the like no body panel race cars with these. Like they'll remove everything from them and it'll be just a bare motor with like a frame, you know, but it's the original chassis and everything. They just take everything off. I've seen some videos of those doing autocross and looking like really outrageous doing it because they're really short. If you remove the bumper and the front end, and it's just the frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that would be a really fun thing to buy and like strip. Just buy like a salvage title C5 Z06.
Yep. I think people don't keep them in California because of the gas mileage. And
Yeah.
price. It's a V8. So.
Yeah, true. Kevin, what about you? Do you have any?
Yeah, I was giving it some thought. Honestly, I still think the 190E 2.3 16, those Cosworths, I still think they're undervalued.
Yeah.
I think they've gone up. I really don't keep track of the market, but because they're around the same years as like the E30s, and like there may have been a price difference between the two, but they're much better than E30s and the M3s of the time, and they look cool. They still have good racing.
I just feel like when you drive
pedigree.
when you drive like one of these, if you drive like an E30 or an E36, and then you drive one of
Yeah, it's
these, like
almost
the interior
40,000.
rattle situation between the two.
Yeah.
Like not to bash BMW, but they put so much of their budget into other things and not the interior. And Mercedes somehow managed to make an amazing chassis.
And then
an
look at this.
amazing
So dialed.
interior.
Yeah.
87,000 miles,
The interior is
5-speed,
crazy on these cars.
87,000 miles, $37,000.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
they're-
87,000 mile E30 probably would be double this, probably.
Yeah.
And then the experience is like way less, probably.
And the quality of the build is amazing.
They just feel so heavy.
it's
when
so
you drive
tight.
them, you know?
But this is one of the
Like
best
heavy in a good
chassis.
way. Heavy in a Mercedes way. Like in
It feels solid. That's
Yeah,
the,
yeah, solid, not
Solid
heavy.
is the word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tight, solid, and the chassis is playful. It's amazingly neutral. I drove this one of these really hard on a back road. It's amazing. Yeah,
They're
it's
good, and
really
they
good.
look fantastic. Like,
Yeah,
this is
for- and
every
for-
Yeah, they've
for
aged
under
so
$40,000, it's a huge win.
Yeah,
No,
and you
I
can get
think-
them for much cheaper than like the high 30s too. Obviously, just depending on.
Yeah,
the
you still
condition,
see
but-
them like in rough condition for like
Yeah,
under
like,
20.
15 grand probably.
Automatics also there.
A rough one. Yeah, all
Yeah.
automatics are
Yeah.
nothing. All right, so those are our slept-on cars. Comment down below if you have any. I'm sure there are way more slept-on cars that we aren't thinking about today. We all have good answers though.
Might just overlap with our scenario actually.
Yeah. So speaking of that, you just got hired by Top Gear to film a cross-country road trip. Now you need to buy a camera car because you said that you had a camera car, so now you're kind of fucked, right? So your budget is $50,000.
For some reason, they're paying you like an outrageous amount of money for
Yeah.
this, and you have a $50,000
Yeah,
surplus.
they give you like a ton of money up front for some reason without vouching or doing any sort of
Or doing
research
any
on you.
back end research.
They don't know if you're buying a Volvo. They haven't listened to the podcast, so we they don't know how we spend our 50 grand. But basically, the car needs to be able to perform well on long drives, back roads, at the racetrack. It has to fit camper crew of 3 plus a driver, so 4 people total. And it needs to be suitable for exterior mounts of some sort. So what are you buying and how are you going to build it to fit your needs?
Nice.
VJ, go.
50,000 including the camera gear and everything, or
Everything.
Let's assume
Yeah,
you have
full
your
budget.
Let's assume you have your cameras,
okay,
but you don't have like exterior mounts or cloud mounts. You don't have any of the stuff you need to do to like fasten your cameras down or control them from inside the car.
I think
Because
I've,
you somehow convinced them that you're gonna produce this episode for them, so
Yeah,
you must
yeah.
have some cameras.
Yeah, I have a couple of options. Like I don't know how much Cadillac CTS-V wagons are worth. Are they like 70,000 now? Or like
Yeah, they're
50,000?
pretty pricey.
yeah. Then otherwise, I'd have to go with like a
You
Golf
can do a
R.
CTS-V sedan. Those are not that expensive.
But you need a hatchback for camera stuff. So it
or
has
you
to
could
be.
invest in a very, very expensive arm rig.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, CTS-V wagon or CTS-V, like the sedan works. But if that's not within the budget, then I would be going with a Golf R, like a used Golf R. It'll be good for track days as well, and it's like comfortable for the crew as well.
Yeah.
I think I'll go the traditional route, only because I've seen a lot of ARM cars. Cayenne,
Huracan.
yeah,
Huracan.
Huracan, yes.
Huracan.
Hurricane, yeah.
That was one of
Yeah.
actually to plug Kevin. One of Kevin's early jobs was with a company that built a Huracan camera car, and it was like one of the fastest camera cars in America at the time, I think, right?
Yeah. Still is. Yeah,
Still
it's
is.
it's a VF Engineering supercharged Huracan.
With
yeah.
like what was the camera system on it?
They used Reds, but it was like a I'm blanking on the system.
You don't
they
even have to
used.
say it. They
Yeah.
used Reds on a Huracan,
Yes.
a VF engineered supercharged Huracan.
Yeah, so these are for
Pretty
like
hard to
high
beat.
speed like film chases. So they filmed like Koenigsegg's and other stuff because
Yeah.
certain things just look better at speed. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the car. But yeah, so that's good if you have like an 250,000. Actually, probably
Or
like
more,
500.
probably
Yeah.
500 with the camera system.
Yeah, it is a pretty baller setup. No, honestly, I think a Cayenne as like a full size
Mm-hmm.
SUV, just because it's super comfortable. They're compliant and
They can make a ton of power. They sell
Yeah.
for nothing on the used market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a really good answer.
And like thinking smaller, like for sure, any like hatchbacks like GTI, like even like a Honda CRV maybe, like
Mm-hmm.
because like there's enough seating and space.
As long as they don't
and-
roll over on the track.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I mean, you have budget to modify it a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. With a CRV for sure.
Yeah. And so there's anything that is like modular that you could potentially run like a small arm car system or film out of the back or front because like
Oh.
some of the mounts. Yeah, go
Yeah, Renault E-Space with the Williams F1 engine.
Yeah, good luck.
It's a van. It's a van. What's more comfortable than
Yeah,
a van?
the engine is gonna be
inside the cabin.
10x your budget, but
The engine's inside the cabin.
yeah, not nice for crew. Remember,
Not
you
ideal.
have to remember the crew has to be able to listen on. This is just how they film, like in car video, and this kind of stuff. There's an individual on the crew who has to be able to listen to all of the show hosts' radios and annotate what they're
No,
saying.
I choose F1 engine.
Okay.
It's a V10.
All they
at
hear
nine-
is like the noise, and like I can't hear what Jeremy's
I don't
saying.
know what you say.
It's a V10 that revs to 19,000 or even 21,000.
Yeah, great.
Just get some mufflers.
21,000. Yeah, we'll just get 1,800 mufflers. Yeah,
It doesn't have an exhaust.
one for
The
each 1,000
entire
RPM.
exhaust is mufflers.
Yeah. It's like a huge muffler on the back of it.
Yeah, Cayenne's a good answer. Joe, what was yours?
I'll go basic, and I'm going to spend $2,000 on a Toyota Sequoia from 2002. It has the window that goes up and down in the back, and then I'm going to end up spending $30,000 on a motor swap and suspension setups so that it's more compliant and faster.
And capable on track.
And then I'll spend $12,000 on mounting equipment and have the most badass,
You're pretty good.
probably
You get
the
some
best.
pretty good stuff for 12 grand.
Sequoia.
Yeah, I probably have like one of the best setups in the whole world because I would have a Sequoia that will never ever break, and
You could spend a lot more than 12 on
yeah, of course.
controllable robotic arms and shit like that.
I'll manually control it.
What was that? What's that Subaru SUV thing that Travis Pastrana was jumping? It's got
Oh, I don't-
active wheel flaps and stuff.
I forget.
That's a good camera car.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's a Subaru, like
It's
with
really
insane,
loud, isn't it? Like extremely loud.
It's got insane, flaps on the fenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna do E34 M5 Touring with a salvage title.
Just remove the hatch. And
It'd just be really good on. It'd be good
hang
on
out the
track.
back.
It'd be fast. We didn't say what we were filming on track, so they might not be that fast.
Yeah.
And it.
Oh, you can open the rear glass too without opening the trunk.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably throw like some in a la Jason Camisa's Dodge Caravan, probably some piping for a rig.
Some
and a
PVC
big-
piping.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
piping around the rear hatch, so that I'll just hard mount stuff to that, and then move it around as we need shots to move.
Yeah.
I feel like for 50 grand, I mean, you don't really need to do anything to that car. And did they have a rear-facing seat option?
No.
That's too bad. Well, anyway, that's my answer. Because I'm really hard on E34s. The only other one I would do is like a E55, a W211 E55 wagon
That'd be cool.
would be a good one too.
Yeah.
They're still like not really worth
Yeah,
that
they're-
much money.
Yeah. Probably a little more comfortable too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Dodge van is also proven in our shoot in the desert.
Yeah.
In Sparks, Nevada.
Yeah.
We were keeping up with the trophy truck on the desert.
Yeah, and it almost pulled that car out, the pre-runner out too.
Yeah.
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 Work truck.
Yeah, so if anybody has some good camera cars for under $50,000, I'd love to hear your advice.
Yeah, comment below.
Because apparently Top Gear has hired us to film an episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it might not be alleged.
E46 M3 wagon conversion.
Uh-huh.
M3
You can probably
conversion
do it
of
for
the
50
wagon.
grand.
Yeah.
You can probably do that for 50 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could probably buy like a ZHP swapped one, and that's still like
That's like 13. Yeah.
yeah.
Probably have a bunch of money to make it perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still really think Miatas are actually really good very run and gun
Yeah.
film cars
Well, 'cause
because
you can like have a
convertible.
passenger just standing.
Yeah, or you can like hard mount stuff to like a roll bar and
Yeah,
the trunk, and you still have the hood.
And
And
you
you have
can,
such
like-
good visibility.
And you can kind of like maneuver however you need.
Yeah.
Miata is the answer.
Yes. Most
And that is consumer advice. Miata is always the answer,
Yeah.
even if you're filming.
It always comes back to me.
So if that is all, I think we will close it then. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. If you've gotten this far, comment banana.
Yeah. I want to see how many banana comments we get.
All right. See
All
you
right.
later.
Don't
Good
do
night, everyone.
bugs.
Good night.